All right, let's get right into it. Today we're jumping into a novel that throws you headfirst into the super secretive world of post-war espionage, a place where secrets were everything and you never knew who to trust. We're talking about Jane Healey's The Women of Arlington Hall. And hey, you don't have to take my word for how good this is. Lisa Barr, a New York Times best-selling author, pretty much says it all right here. Unputdownable. I mean, that quote just perfectly sets the scene, doesn't it? You've got Cold War spies, a brilliant and fiery codebreaker, and a little bit of romance mixed in. It's exactly the kind of story that just grabs you and refuses to let go. So, let's set the scene. Where is all this action taking place? We're about to step into a world just dripping with secrets, where the Cold War is casting its first long shadow over Arlington, Virginia. The year is 1947, and you gotta understand, this was such a tense moment in history. World War II had just ended, but that sense of relief didn't last long. A whole new threat was emerging, a quieter, more sneaky kind of conflict between former allies. This wasn't a war fought on battlefields. It was a war of whispers, of intelligence, of secrets. And right at the heart of this story is a top-secret military project based at Arlington Hall. The mission? Oh, it's a big one. They have to find and stop Soviet spies who have already worked their way deep into the United States, trying to steal the nation's most valuable secrets. So, who's the person we're going to be following through this maze of secrets? It's time to meet our protagonist, Killeen, but everybody just calls her Kat. She's this incredible, adventurous codebreaker, and honestly, she's the engine that drives this entire story. Now, Kat is, well, she is not your typical woman from the 1940s. Not at all. She's a Radcliffe graduate, and get this, she literally calls off her own wedding because a quiet, predictable life just wasn't for her. She was hungry for a real challenge, and boy, did she find one. She dives headfirst into the world of cryptoanalysis and joins this elite group of female codebreakers they called the Government Girls of Arlington Hall. And this is where things get really interesting. We're getting into the core of the conflict now, right where her professional duty and her personal feelings just smash into each other. It's a world of spies, love, and, yeah, a whole lot of lies that tie everything together. In this new life, Kat's world really revolves around two very different kinds of relationships. On one side, you have her fellow government girls. This is her crew. They share this amazing bond, this camaraderie built on knowing they're all in this incredibly secret mission together. And then there's Jonathan Dardis. He's her old, arrogant rival from Harvard, and now he's an FBI agent. Their dynamic is just electric. They're competitive, there's this fiery attraction, but deep down, they're both fighting for the same thing. Okay, so what does the actual operation look like? It unfolds in these incredibly tense stages. First, Kat has to dive deep into the shadows. Her main task is monumental, to reconstruct the KGB's secret codebook. From there, she can use her skills to actually track down Russian spies operating in America. And you can just imagine, with every step she takes, the personal stakes get higher and higher. I mean, with a setup like that, is it any surprise that this novel has gotten a ton of praise? Of course not. Let's take a quick look at what some of the critics are saying. Here's one from Fiona Davis, another bestseller. She calls it a stirring tribute that's got romance, nail-biting suspense, and, so importantly, it's a celebration of female friendship. That really hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It perfectly captures the three pillars of this story. And the praise is coming from all over. The Historical Novels Review even gives it a big thumbs up for fans of Bletchley Park, which, if you know your history, is a huge compliment. You look across all these reviews and you keep seeing the same words pop up: fun, fascinating, compelling, and beautifully crafted. The consensus is definitely clear on this one. So, if we boil all that feedback down, this is basically what you get. Readers and critics consistently love three things: the suspense, the romance, and the historical detail. And while the first two are fantastic, it's that rich, authentic historical detail that seems to really make the story pop, bringing the entire world of the 1940s to life. But beyond being a great thriller, why does a story like this really matter today? Well, that brings us to the legacy of the codebreakers themselves. And this is the part that I think is so important. The Women of Arlington Hall is way more than just a piece of fiction. It's a powerful tribute to the real women, the brilliant, dedicated, and so often forgotten codebreakers, whose works during the Cold War was absolutely vital to national security. So what's the big takeaway here? When you open this book, you are getting the whole package. You've got thrilling Cold War espionage. You've got a brilliant, fiery hero you can really root for. You've got that incredible spies in love tension. And it's all built on a foundation of fantastic research that blends fact and fiction so well, even including some cameos from real historical figures. Which leaves us all with this one final central question. It's what the characters are forced to confront, and it's what you'll be thinking about long after you finish the book. When your duty to your country and your love for another person are on a collision course, what is the ultimate price of secrecy?